Welcome back. Now, our next guest took a life filled with the unimaginable, everything from prison to drugs, and came out on top, conquering her past.
She took her life story and gave a very detailed and personal perspective in the book 5 to 15, A Woman, a Prison, a Redemption. Author Denise Sassoon joins us now to talk about it. Denise, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. And the irony is it's in Women's Month.
Exactly.
Women's History Month, so this is perfect timing.
So this is perfect timing. And let's start with talking about what 5 to 15 represents.
Those numbers were a sentence I received in 1975 at age 21, my first adult offense for drugs.
And so tell us about your past and how this all kind of plays into the book.
It came out of the drug use, and crime came out of a home situation that was chaotic, unstable, abusive, which doesn't mean that everyone who has that resorts to the life I did, but a lot of people do, the majority who are in prison, and it was just to overcome all of that.
Denise, I think it's so brave of you to share your personal story out there in the open for everybody. I want to know, how difficult was that, and how long did it take for you to write this book?
It took 2 years once I finally decided I was going to do it, but really it started in 1978 with journals, writing in prison. And then I went on to college and did short stories. I majored in writing and English. And so it was a culmination of poetry, short stories, journals, and I finally just said I'm going to organize it.
Yeah.
So where was that moment in your life where you were leading down the path you were going and you decided to stop, and then eventually led to you sharing your story?
That was, well, I finally stopped in 1988, spending 2 years in a treatment program. And initially I went there because I was facing 28 years back in prison. I didn't go there willingly. I didn't go there planning to stop. But the message I hope to convey is that even if people don't go willingly, at some point the reason and the motivation changes, and they can succeed and overcome all of that.
And in your book you do talk about the addiction, the recovery. What was the most difficult part of all of that?
Facing myself, being honest with myself, facing my family, and all of the things I did when I was an addict. And there was a lot of shame and guilt around that.
And so how did your family or friends feel about you opening up such a personal part of your life?
My family, they weren't overjoyed. No family wants their secrets to come to the light. I lost my mother about a year ago, but she was very proud. She was an avid reader at age 85, didn't wear glasses or anything, and I think she was proud. And she said she couldn't put it down when she started it. The rest of my family, I think, understands that my career and my life is dedicated to a bigger cause.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they're accepting of that.
Denise, I think you're such an amazing presence, and you've overcome so much, so many obstacles. Now, what about any viewers that are watching today that might have some obstacles of their own that they are needing some help getting over? What would you say to them?
First, I would say, if you're in that abyss of addiction, you can't do it alone. It's impossible. Second, even if the reason you go isn't because you want to, it will change as long as you stay put and just hold on, because it's not an easy ride. But the other option is death, misery, prison. So nobody wants those alternatives.
So are those some of, maybe if we pick up this book and we're, you know, enthralled in reading it, are these some of the lessons that we're going to learn along the way?
I hope so. And the audience, I hope, are, one, people who have a loved one who's caught up in that abyss. They can benefit from it. Anyone who is caught up as an addict, an ex-con, whatever, they could benefit. And more so professionals, teachers, in criminal justice, in law enforcement, can use this as a way to educate people about what the realities of that lifestyle.
And what are you hoping readers get as the message about the criminal justice system? Because you do talk about that as well.
That what we're doing isn't working. And with recidivism in Arizona, there was a study in 2010 that showed that over 65% returned after 10 years out. So 75% of the people in prison are there for drugs or drug-related crimes. Most of those aren't violent, especially women, more so.
And I know you talk a lot about what it was like while you were in prison and, you know, the differences between, you know, being a woman in prison and a lot of that. So I think maybe some, like you said, family members that have someone that's in prison, this is maybe a good insight into what they're going through.
Yes, definitely.
And
that's
I think,
my hope.
I think that's amazing. So thank you so much, Denise, for coming, sharing this book, sharing your story for the whole world.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And being willing to show this book.
Absolutely. And you can get the book 5 to 15 by searching for the title on Amazon. And you can meet Denise when she appears at a book signing at Dragonfly Village. That's at 146 East Broadway on Saturday, April 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.